trying not to jump in front of our guest there. We got one there. Look out.
Hey!
Hey! Look at that. The vicious arm of our guest. We will get to our guest in a second, but first I need to introduce the man to, it is to my right this time, but it could be to your left, depending on what type of screen you are looking at. It is the co-host, the co-founder, the co-breather of air, the co-wearer of clothes in this real room. It is not the virtual room this time. We are here in the studio, the AWE headquarters in the city. It is the master of disaster, the king of steam, the Count of Monte Cristo. It is the Siberian Bull. It is your friend and mine. It is the winner of the Dave Stockbridge, Thunderlips, the ultimate male, the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year award. There it is, the actual award, the illustrious award held by the illustrious man with the illustrious beard. It is none other than Dave Stockbridge. Welcome to the show.
Well, welcome to this is the first time I think we've done the podcast in the studio, so this is very exciting. And of course, we're here as we do have a very, very special international guest. He's just landed off the plane just a matter of hours ago, and he has come to Adelaide to claim that AWE middleweight belt. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Zhu Zhi. You know what? I tried practicing that before and I fucked it up then too. So, Zhu, thanks so much for joining us, mate. Really appreciate you being a part of the AWE event this Sunday on the 23rd of March. And really looking forward to seeing what you're bringing to the table. Of course, you are one of the X factors in this event for our local AWE stars. You haven't yet had the opportunity to grip up with you and get a sense as to what it is that you have to offer on the table. And one of those competitors has already quickly jumped onto the stream. And so he's enjoyed the oh, have you received voice messages from Taryn already?
Okay, first of all, thank you for that warm welcome. Yeah, I've received interesting messages from Taran. Like I was in the middle of the layover from Bali, and then I received some voice messages from Taran. It was quite
disturbing.
I thought it was like some different language at first. I thought they were speaking like some kind of Aussie cryptic. You know?
Oh, well, maybe Taryn will make us privy as to what those messages entailed. Were they messages of intimidation?
Intimidation? I doubt so. I feel like it was like a. Honestly, I don't know. I
don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it.
A lot of people feel that way after a conversation with Taryn, so don't feel
the walk away going, what?
So you're number one in Singapore right now, and so have earned yourself a very strong reputation. Of course, you're here on Greg Yo's recommendation. He would dearly love to be here, but he's got something else going on this weekend, something inconsequential.
Minor. I think it's haircut, maybe.
Haircut. Was it haircut? Was it? It was washing the car.
Could be getting married.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah,
getting married.
Greg is preparing for some tournament.
Oh, is he really?
Oh, he's got another tournament. No,
wow.
I think he's got. He might have a little East versus West matchup in the not too distant future. I've seen the training videos. So, but yeah, and also getting married, I believe. So it was a pretty legitimate excuse for not coming to Australia. But you didn't forgo any weddings or anything in order to be here.
No, it was like right on schedule, you know.
Perfect. No worries. So
it's the perfect way to get out of going to Greg's wedding.
I think I'm too young. I wasn't invited.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. It's like the AWE. If you're not the right weight category, you just don't get an invite. If you're not the right age, yeah. So, so you're one of the youngest competitors in the field at 21 years of age. You almost qualify for our junior belt, as a matter of fact. So, which is really interesting as well.
20, turning 21.
Oh, you're turning 21. Well, you do qualify for the AWE. Well, we've got one of those right behind you here, so maybe we can put that on the table on the weekend. Who knows? Yeah. So 20 years old. Tell us a little bit about your journey. When did you get started arm wrestling?
I got started arm wrestling when I was around 16, 2020 to 17, 2021. That was the time when I first found out about the sport. I wasn't too serious up until 2022, where I started having serious training programs, competing regularly, sometimes internationally as well.
Yeah.
That was when I took arm wrestling really seriously in 2022, and since then it's been a fun journey. Yeah, like I've been to Australia. In fact, Australia was in over the top in Gold Coast. That was my first ever international competition.
Right. Yeah.
I was still schooling at the time, had quite a lot of trouble, trying to get the teachers to approve this overseas trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And since then it's been all right. It's been multiple international competitions.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and now I'm here.
And now you're here. And so you've been 4 years in the sport. Was it easy to find a place to start training in Singapore?
Okay, when I first started, right, the community wasn't so developed yet as it is now. So other than like regular trainings, there were rarely back then. There was the competitions, like local tournaments, were quite rare. Yeah, we wouldn't find too many opportunities to compete, but there were always like small groups here and there where you can get in like trainings weekly. Yeah, they were already hosting regular sessions whereby just like training was no issue.
Okay.
Back then, yeah.
So it's a small but really concerted group of people.
Yeah, I'll say the only disadvantage was the variety of pullers.
Okay.
Like we became so familiar with each other,
Yeah.
Yeah, running off. We needed more variety, I feel. Like, yeah.
I think, although geographically and culturally a lot different, what we do have in common with Singapore is that same issue where it's a very shallow pool of talent from which to draw from, and some of the, especially for the top pullers, that can be really frustrating because you're not getting guys coming into, even strong guys coming into the sport, maybe from other strength backgrounds or combat sports backgrounds. It takes them some time to get to that level, to get to that standard where they're competitive with somebody who's got experience and had that table time. So tell us a little bit about the scene over there at the moment.
Yeah, so in recent years, right, the situation is way better. Like the community has like quadrupled in quantity. And I'll say quality wise is also on a different level. Yeah, although I'll say the top pullers from back then are still top pullers now. Right. So like there hasn't been too many people who have like jumped like through the levels, to overtake everyone else. Yeah, but there are like talent pool is definitely way deeper. Like instead of like big gaps between the top guys and the bottom guys, now like say like the top 10 to 15 are like really close in levels. Like maybe within a year there can be jumps between the rankings.
So we've seen just over the last couple of years some really top level competitions taking place there in Singapore, where you guys have been hosting international athletes who've been coming over and competing over there. Is that part of the growth strategy in terms of having that shallow talent pool, bringing international names over in order to compete?
I would say it's one of the advantages of Singapore because it's more of a developed country, right? We have the opportunity to bring in these talents from overseas to broaden our horizons. So I'll say, that's one of the advantages we have. We can bring in these athletes and test ourselves against them.
Yeah,
we'll find out, and we can find out our levels.
Whereas in other parts of, let's say Thailand or other parts of Southeast Asia, it is different because the money's just not there, and the conversion into currency, and very, very difficult for those countries, those developing nations, in order to attract the talent over. But I mean, Singapore's a beautifully developed country. It's we were just talking off air previously about how advanced it is in a lot of respects. It's the best aspects of both the East and the West. You've got the really all the safety and the cleanliness that we might have associated with Western capital cities only, say, a few decades ago, that we don't necessarily see anymore because of the decay that we've experienced in the West and over recent times, and the proliferation of homelessness. But it seems Singapore has been somewhat immune from that decay and continues to be a wonderful safe haven for its citizens and population, which makes it a really attractive destination for everybody, really. And being that commercial hub fairly easy to get to for people from Europe as well as from Australia. So you're really there in the heart of it. So it's a great opportunity for Singaporeans to really be that Southeast Asian hub for the sport.
Yep, I agree. I think we are very privileged to be in this position.
Yeah.
And in the future, I think like I've noticed that many athletes, right, traveling from like the west to the east, they often have to lay over at Singapore because it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Right. So I think as the scene develops, opportunities will come whereby bigger names can be invited.
Yeah.
And they confirm no, I don't think they have any trouble to enter the country and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great destination. And now you've got this real burgeoning arm wrestling community. How many people can you expect to see at training?
Oh, well, that depends on the days, but generally, minimum like 20
Okay.
in the main trainings. Yeah. And sometimes like when we have like international pullers invited over to host, then there'll be more interest, and then sometimes the number can hit up to like 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who are some of those emerging stars in your part of the world that maybe we haven't heard of yet? You were talking off camera earlier about a young arm wrestler who's a big young fella, 140 odd kilos, and he's really burst on the scene recently. Tell us a little bit more about him and any of those other emerging stars that we haven't yet quite heard about.
Yeah, so there's this kid, if you can call it kid, in Singapore, who's like, I think currently still 17. Yeah, and he's like 140 kilos.
Wow.
Maybe more.
Wow.
It was 140 like a year ago, right? And
315
like,
pounds.
he started arm wrestling about a year ago, and his level has been rising really quickly. And recently, when I pulled him back in Jan, he was like approaching my strength level already.
Wow.
So I'll say he's within the conversation for definitely top 10 in Singapore. Yeah, and given maybe 2-3 more years, I think there's a chance he can be number one.
Very, very interesting. So that's absolutely huge. And what's his name?
Rahil.
Rahil.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. There's the name.
Yeah.
There you go. If Neil
I think Greg has posted quite a few videos on him. Yeah, like the super heavyweight monster videos.
Oh, very.
He likes to, place out the clickbait titles.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize he was so young though.
Yeah, he's really young.
Incredible, incredible.
Like I think Greg places the title as like 16-year-old, but then I think people don't think it's like, they think it's like fake, but he's actually 16 back then.
Wow, wow. What are they feeding that boy? That's incredible. Absolutely incredible. So now, I guess the disadvantage for the local pullers in this event is that they haven't had the opportunity to grip up with you before, so they don't really know what to expect. But I guess that cuts both ways. What do you know about those people that you're competing against on Sunday, and what kind of preparation have you been able to make in accommodation of them?
Actually, I've experienced pulling 2 of them.
Okay.
SK and Josh. SK was in 2022 over the top. Like I faced him in the tournament itself, and I had a pretty decent war with him, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, although I lost at the end. Yeah, and then Josh Parker, I remember going to Burnett's household. We had a training there. Yeah, and I think, Josh Parker, I trained with him right after the comp. He was doing the after table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the 16-year-old here, I believe.
No, this is a different one. This is another junior.
Another one.
Another giant kid. My goodness.
113 kilos at 16 years old.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
This is like due to the recent rise, I feel, in Singapore. Because like back then when there was way less talent pool, like we didn't have very many bigger frame guys, heavier guys in the sport. The main, like the higher level people were mostly within like the 70, 60, 80 kilo range. Yeah. And now that like the sport is really growing, the main population, the demographic that is like booming is the junior population. Yeah. And these 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 13-year-old, like some of them are huge, man.
It's absolutely incredible.
So interesting. The dynamic. Oh, you've got it there. It's a 17-year-old. This one?
Oh, up left.
This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll bring that up for everyone. But yeah, it's interesting the demographic that you've got there. That it's juniors that is the majority, or it seems to be everywhere else in the world that I've been to, at least. it seems to be sort of middle age, maybe 25 and over, but definitely not the teenagers as the majority, which is very, very unique.
Yeah, and in a sport where there's such longevity as well, I mean, it bodes really well for Singaporean arm wrestling that you've got these up-and-comers at 16, 17 years of age who, well, they could be pulling for another 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
and including yourself as well, which is super exciting.
So we're looking for the 16-year-old in this video, or is he in this
Towards
video?
the end.
It's towards the end?
Oh,
Okay.
that's the title. In front of Rahil.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
There we go.
Okay, round
Oh,
there.
my goodness.
Jesus.
Look at that. Wow.
16
Huge
years
guy.
old. Yeah. Greg is in pain before the match starts.
And in anticipation. Here we go.
There he is. He's
Yeah,
held
he
on
caught
to
it.
him with the riser. Yeah.
Yeah, got through there quickly.
Done,
He got in and out
Greg.
just in time, one suspects. Wow.
But
He's
he's a
shaking his
big
head.
boy, though. You can see. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely incredible. There we go. There's a look of disbelief on Greg's face as he finishes that one. A little bit of relief one would expect as well. So let's have a little look here. We're almost there. So Matt, we're a little bit earlier than usual, of course. So thank you to everybody who is tuning in. So normally we jump on about 7 or 8 hours after now, but as you was in the country, we're super excited, and we haven't had the opportunity to have him on the podcast as yet, and so we're super keen to jump on and share with you his plans for the event. So maybe we'll just jump into the comments.
Absolutely, yeah. So the first person who wrote a comment today was actually Richard Jennings. He's won the race against the Drew, who did put his usual smiley emoji, but
He got in there.
He was too slow. He was too slow. Richard Jennings says good evening or morning or afternoon, everyone.
Oh, well, it was about midday here,
It's
so you almost
nighttime.
had it all covered.
Yeah, it's about midtime. You got off very nicely there. And the Drew, of course, always great to see the Drew in. He was second place today. Dankius Arm Wrestling, Taryn Broad, who will be competing in the tournament against Drew on the weekend. And he says that he hopes that you enjoyed the voice messages. We did cover that at the start of the show. Mr. Peanut is also in from the Peanut Gallery. Hello to Mr. Peanut. Always great to see you here. And Darren Broad does say, I wouldn't say what those voice messages were if I were you. So maybe some secret messages going on there from Taryn Broad and Chris from Intrinsic Media, who will be running the production side of things on the weekend, is in. He says hello all. Hello to you, Chris. And Lucky from the Lucky Ones podcast is also here. She's given us a bicep, a purple heart, and a leprechaun 4-leaf clover. Inspired
by St. Patrick's Day, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah.
Yes, which was just earlier this week. So, Ju, let's have a bit of a talk about the AWE Grand Prix event. This is for the middleweight title. The belt is will be here with us at any moment now. And tell us about your pathway to victory.
My pathway I've done my homework on my opponents. Yeah, and I've noticed that the majority of them are actually the majority of all of the competitors are hookers. Right, so I've been even like months back. I've been working on my inside game, to ensure that if it comes to that, I can fight there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I'm in probably the best shape I've ever been.
Excellent.
Like when I faced, I'm not sure if you know, when I faced Mark Lewis Ben. Yeah, I was around 80 kilos.
Okay.
Yeah, and
what are
since
you
then
weighing
I've been
now?
84, 85.
Okay.
Yeah. In the morning, sometimes 84.
Okay. Wow.
So I think I've gained pretty good quality mass as well. It's not like too much fat.
Yeah.
I mean, around the same leanness as when I was 80.
And with your PBs, how are you traveling? Are you
some lifts I've hit like all-time PRs.
Okay.
Whereas others are just maybe close to my best, but when I was heavier. Like they are close to the weights I was lifting when I was like 87, 88.
Yeah.
But some have been all-time PRs.
Wow. So you're coming in peaked and primed.
Yeah.
Do you rest up in the week leading up to competition, or are you still training really heavy right up to close to the day?
I take an approach whereby I tone down my intensity as I approach. But then towards the end, of course, I fully rest.
Yeah. How do you go post competition? So when you've had a big comp, where do you feel the soreness most, and how long does it take you to really recover?
I mean, that depends on how rough the competition was.
Yeah.
But typically, I like to have fun. You know, after comp, I always after pool. Yeah, with the athletes or with any spectators there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think like I don't really care how bad it gets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just after the comp itself, I'll just basically destroy myself.
Fantastic. Yeah. That's what we like to hear. So we've got the bracket up there, and your first round matchup will be with SK. So a puller you are more familiar with. So how do you see your pathway here? So let's just say you step through SK. Your next matchup would be with Marty Penfold. No, with Taron Broad.
It could be either Marty or Taron, depending on who wins their match.
Okay, so let's say Taron wins.
Okay.
That one. Taron seemed pretty confident last night on the podcast.
Yeah.
So let's say you step through SK up against Taron next. Now, do you get into a war with Taron? Do you have a strategy here in terms of gameplay, or do you just give it your absolute best? What's the feeling here?
I mean, my usual approach is always to just give it my best.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're going to have a war with Taron at that point, and obviously, if you
might be a war, might not be a war.
It might not be. It might not be. So we don't know what Taron said in the messages. We just don't know. And then you've got. So let's say you do beat Taron on that occasion, and you filter through. So that would then leave you in a matchup with either Josh or Nick or Jacob or Ruben. All very different styles of pullers there as well. So Jacob and maybe Ruben are the closest in physicality, but Ruben's got that much longer levers, the bigger hand as well. How do you compete against those types of taller, skinnier guys that have got those big, long levers and big hands?
Actually, I would rather pull someone with a longer lever than shorter, because I find that like against a shorter lever, it feels like the opponent is dragging very hard. It's like basically like a person with a long lever elbow falling the back. Yeah, and I typically don't find that very comfortable. Yeah, compared to a long lever, whereby I feel I have more control.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah. And so, I mean, if you did lose to Taron, you might well find yourself up against one of those types of pullers as well. So that's really interesting. And then, so you've got a few pathways moving forward in this tournament, regardless of what happens in that second round. So, and of course, you're getting through to the semi-finals. It seems inevitable that you'd be meeting either somebody like a Ruben Jennings type character who did extremely well at our T-Series event earlier last year, or somebody's really quick off the line like Josh Barker. So have you done much preparation in the event, because you are somewhat more familiar with Josh and his style, and he's probably the quickest off the line of any of the competitors that we've had experience with, regardless of weight at the AWE?
As for preparation for Josh, unfortunately, there are not many pressers in Singapore. So I've struggled to find like someone who's similar. So preparation for him is mostly just I'm working on my strengths to just do my best.
Yeah. Very interesting. Well, there's a few pathways there, and it sounds like you've done your homework, and so it's all just now a matter of leaving it all on the table and seeing what the arm wrestling gods have in store for you. And I'm super excited for the event. We absolutely cannot wait. For those that don't know, it is this Sunday. It's on the 23rd of March. It is here in Adelaide. If you do want to register, there are still some seats available, but they are going very, very fast. There's over 60 people that have registered already. So if you do want to be a part of that event, you're going to have to really let us know very, very quickly, because in the next day or two, all available seating will be gone. So this event will be televised. It won't be televised live. So just a gentle reminder to those people that might be jumping onto the socials waiting for that to be popping up on Sunday. please just wait. We promise we'll have it out to you. It'll only be a matter of days, but we will have it out to you very, very soon. We want everybody to see what's going on at the event, but it will come to you in a beautifully edited format, and it will look absolutely amazing, and we hope does justice for our wonderful young athletes that have made their way over here. Also, just as a little bonus, the steak knives on this occasion is the matchup between Brett Coots and Rickett Borman. That is for the left arm AWE heavyweight title. Any thoughts on how that one might go?
Personally, I've seen many of Rickett's matches, but not many are on the left arm. So it's really quite a mystery. I think it's like 50-50 to me.
Yeah. Yep, pick a winner.
Very, very, very diplomatic there. What's to say, friends with both of them by the sounds of things, and why not? Who wants to upset either of those epic giants? But we're really looking forward to all of that action. And there is the Titans Open, so there is an open tournament that is happening on the same day in the same place. So if you're a handy puller from anywhere around the country, around the world, and you have any inclination to give it a go, then there are some wonderful prizes available for those people that do make their way over and want to be part of that event. I believe to register, all they need to do is get in contact with Hollywood Matt Connelly or make sure that you are in the mix. So just a small entry fee, I believe, just to cover some of the expenses, but ultimately a great chance to walk away a winner, and of course have it all on all beautifully filmed. And this is also a piece of content that we hope to get out to the world very, very shortly, so and expose some of that fine young talent from around the country and around the world. So Zhu, I'm really wishing you all the very best. The middleweight title is on the line. Somebody will be walking away with a belt over their shoulder, around their waist, and it could well be you. So all the very best of luck this Sunday, mate. Congratulations, and to all those people that are in the comments that have maybe we'll just quickly go through. There's been a few late commenters before we go away.
That's right. Lucky from the Lucky Ones podcast. Check that out on Saturday nights in the US. Great. To promote female arm wrestling. She says, hey, gents, can't wait for this weekend for you guys over there. Thank you very much, Lucky. We're very much looking forward to it. And Petunia says, hello from Miami. It is a very special person to me, and hello to you. Thank you for writing a comment finally. and
thank you for creating our event poster as
absolutely.
Well. So wonderful artist, and did a terrific job with that poster. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. Dominic Lawrence is also in. He says, g'day, g'day. And he says hello to the Drew. And he also says, Drew is going to shock some people with his speed.
Oh.
The
maybe
says that you're looking beefy.
Oh,
the hell! There you go. That is the biggest shirt we could find, and for you, and you can see it's not keeping up with these biceps there.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast once again. And I think we've got more arm wrestling tonight, actually tonight here. So sometime in the next 7 or 8 hours, you'll see us popping back up on screen. And I'm struggling to recall exactly who it is. It might be Nick Vella, the X Factor. Ooh. Nick Vella. So he's a name that many of you wouldn't be so familiar with, but he is our wild card entry into this event. He's 85 kilos of just dense muscle. Dense, mature muscle. At 85 kilos, he is Brett Coots's training partner, and we've heard some epic stories about that young man already, and can't wait to talk to him a little bit more. So stay tuned for that one tonight. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you later on tonight on Arm Wrestling Tonight.
Good stuff. All right. Give it a couple seconds.